The Classic TV channel is your happy trails to golden oldies television from the 1940s through the formative years of the 1950s and 60s. Enjoy restored TV shows Mickey Rooney Show, Groucho Marx, Trouble with Father, Terry and the Pirates, One Step Beyond, Beverly Hillbillies, Bonanza, The Lucy Show, Dick Van Dyke, Annie Oakley, Ozzie and Harriet, The Howdy Doody Show, and many, many more. Binge your night away. So return with us now to those golden days of yesteryear.
They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
Repeat the same dosage in 4 hours. No sooner unless absolutely necessary. And maybe you can reach me at home.
Yes, Doctor.
That God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me, Selah. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he
dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. That will be your cousin. That's enough.
Grandmother, don't you think you could sleep a little now? The medicine the doctor must...
I'll sleep soon enough. I mean to use every minute that's left me. I want to see Julian fetch my grandson.
Oh, good evening, cousin.
Hello, Julian.
I'd forgotten how far this place was from civilization. Oh, how is our venerable grandmother?
Very weak. It's so long since any of you have been to see her.
Well, we all trusted grandmother to your capable hands, cousin. Mother called me as soon as she got the wire. I took the first train out.
I thought that would bring all of you.
My dear parents will be down tomorrow. You didn't think we'd let grandmother die without the comfort of her family about her, did you?
No, I didn't think you'd run the risk. You just didn't want to trouble yourselves until it was absolutely necessary. You'd let me take care of her all this time. Not even leaving this house the last 3 years.
Yes, I've no doubt you've worked your way, Julia. But you must admit the living conditions are a little better than you'd find at your home. Oh, by the way, how is dear Aunt Marion?
Mother's fine.
You needn't act so sanctimonious. We're all here for the same thing.
What do you think you deserve, any of you? You've never come to see her. Never written except at Christmas to make sure you get your usual check.
While you, like a little Florence Nightingale, have been sacrificing yourself at her sickbed. Well, a gamble won't pay off for 2 reasons. You weren't born a male, and I was named after grandmother's dear departed husband, Julian. Although I must admit, under the circumstances, your mother came as close as she could by naming you Julia. Now, if you don't mind, I'd... Who's that?
That's Bruce Lewin. He's from the university. Grandmother got him in to catalog the library.
Now, we better count the books carefully when he leaves. All right, Julia. You've had Grandmother as your private preserve long enough. I want to see her now.
Julian.
Grandmother. I came as soon as I could. As soon as they let us know.
You're so like him. So like your grandpapa.
I brought you something, darling.
Just what he always brought me. A single red rose. Your grandfather used to cut one from my rose garden every morning.
I know, Grandmother. Julian knew, too.
You must be tired after your long trip.
No, Grandmother. Not now that I've seen you.
Well, well. Well, you certainly don't look sick to me, Miss Sarah.
I pay my doctor for that sort of lying. I don't expect it from my lawyer. You brought the papers?
Right here, Miss Sarah.
You excuse me. I have some business. Did you see to a room for Julian?
Yes, Grandmother, I'll take care of it.
See you in the morning.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
Why does she want to see her lawyer?
About the will, I suppose. She must be changing it.
Well, I don't think I have anything to worry about. I could use a drink. Tell me, is there any brandy in the drawing room decanter?
I don't know.
Oh, come now. She's kept it filled since Grandfather's Day. Don't tell me you let it run dry.
She hasn't left her bed for over 2 years, but you wouldn't know that.
You're a brave, loyal girl, Julia. Oh, when I inherit the money, I'll buy you a gold medal. While you're still the hostess here, which room would you like me to take?
The east bedroom. I'll have your bag sent up.
Bless you, cousin. I'll do the same for you one day. Oh, you don't mind if I disassemble Grandfather's little shrine here, do you? Believe me, it'll do a lot more good with me upstairs.
The vultures have caught the scent of death. She must be in a pretty bad condition. You can always tell when they start circling. I'm through with my job here. I want you to come away with me, Julia. Now. I asked you to marry me before she was so sick. I'm asking you again now. That associate professorship at the university won't pay much, but we can live on it.
I can't leave now.
Because of the will?
No, it isn't that.
Why were you so upset about your cousin's arrival?
Well, what right has he got to the money? What's he done for her? What have any of them done? They knew she was sick. All these years, I've been taking care of her.
What about your mother?
Well, she should have come before this, but knowing that I was here.
As her deputy.
Don't say that. She's my mother. She's the one who really needs the money. When she married, Grandmother cut her off. And since my father died, she's had nothing at all.
You know that on nothing at all. She still lives better than my mother did. She had to work all of her life. Julia, listen to me. I love you. You don't need that money.
You're working for money, aren't you? It happens to be very little. Would you refuse to take it if it were more?
It's not the kind of money you work for I'd refuse. It's this. Look what it's done to all of them. If you got it, they'd be hovering around you the same way they're hovering around your grandmother right now. Waiting to sink their claws. I've got nothing against money. I couldn't have got through college if it hadn't been for that scholarship the rich man provided. It's this kind of money I hate. This I'll have nothing to do with.
You're trying to tell me that if Grandmother left her estate to me, you wouldn't marry me?
I know that sounds like the silliest thing you ever heard of, Julia, but that's true.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm poor. I can afford to be ridiculous.
Well, I love you too, Bruce, but when you start putting conditions, testing me...
It's no test. It's a very basic decision. I'm finishing up the inventory first thing in the morning, and I'm leaving then. Anyway, you're going to have to make your decision about us. Right now.
I can't. Can't you understand? I can't leave her now.
No. No. I guess maybe you can.
Miss Cantor.
Yes?
Your grandmother's asking for you.
I want you to read to me. No. Read me Cicero on old age.
Oh, Grandmother, not that one. That's so depressing.
Just where you left off. Nurse. I want some water.
I have fresh water right here. I'll get it for you.
I want some water from downstairs. And take a few minutes to get it. Put the book down, child. I know more about old age than Cicero did. I have no more problems before me. But you have.
What do you mean, Grandmother?
I've kept my bed over here near the window so I could look out into my rose garden. He seems a very nice young man. An opinionated young man, but nice. The world is full of nice people. They tell me everything's changed since I was young, but it hasn't. Of course, it's easier to be sensible at my age than yours. But women still want security.
Grandmother, I'm sorry you overheard.
That's too mild a term, child. I listened deliberately. I made a wise marriage with your grandfather. I've had this house and a good life. But I was in love once. Foolishly in love with a clerk in a dry goods store. And he died a few years ago. He owned the store. That's as high as he ever rose in the world. Yes, I made a good marriage. And I was a good wife to your grandfather, except in one thing. I was never able to give him a son. The clerk had 5 children, all of them sons. When you're young, You're just naturally romantic. But there is a choice that every girl has to make if she's pretty enough to be asked. I was pretty, Julia. As pretty as you are. In the top drawer of my bureau, behind the stocking box, is a little leather case.
Oh, this one?
Yes. Bring the red one, too. The only present he ever gave me. I kept it for sentiment. Sentiment was the fashion in those days. Now open that one. This is what your grandfather gave me. Good night, child. Sleep well. Leave the boxes. I want to look at them.
Good night, Grandmother.
Good night.
Mr. Lewin come in yet this morning? I wanted to... What's the matter? What happened? Grandmother worse?
She's gone, Miss Gabbard.
Gone? When?
About 4 o'clock this morning.
Why wasn't I called? Why...
I told them not to call you, Julia. After all, you've sacrificed enough for poor grandmother. There was nothing you could have done. I was with her at the end.
Dr. Matthews was here, and I've sent for the undertaker.
Don't tell me you're leaving, cousin. You're giving up.
Oh, no, not now. You bet I'm not.
I'm glad I got here in time. Her passing was so peaceful.
If the family has no objection, I'll call the minister and arrange about the eulogy.
Yes, Mr. Frankel, whatever you think she would have wanted will be perfect. Yes?
The gardener just told me. Terribly sorry.
Thank you. You're the fellow taking the inventory?
I'm cataloging the library, yes.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you make it as quick as possible. Perhaps you better forget it entirely for now. You'll be paid the full amount.
I've been paid. I'll be finishing up this morning. I can leave within the hour.
I wish you'd stay for the reading of the will. There's a small bequest. It's to be day after tomorrow at noon.
I'll be back.
And Emily, Uncle George. Hello, Mr. Frankel.
Mother, Father.
I thought I was going to faint. I don't know why they have such long services at the graveside. When my time comes, I want it to be simple, Julia.
Mother, please, let's not have any more talk about dying.
Look at them. As though they'd already banked the money. She sent for the lawyer before Julian came, didn't she? So it wasn't his fawning over that made her change the will.
Mother, they'll read the will and we'll all know, and we can stop acting like vultures.
Julia, what a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's true, we're vultures, all of us.
Julia, your own grandmother.
It's just noon. This will is dated the evening before she died. It is holographic. There are no witnesses. I, Sarah Scarborough, being of sound mind and memory, hereby make and declare this my last will and testament.
Why doesn't he get on with it?
hereby revoking all other wills and codicils to wills heretofore made by me, I direct that a fund be established to continue the allowance of my daughter Emily for as long as she may live. Inasmuch as I wish to carry no grievance beyond the grave, I likewise direct that my daughter Marion be given a like sum of money for the duration of her life. I make no provision for my son-in-law George Strelson, since my daughter Emily's allowance has provided for them in the past and may be expected to do so in the future.
Wait a minute. The last time I saw Emily, she promised me I'd be remembered. Here, let me see that. I'm sorry.
Miss Cabot, I'm afraid you'll have to help me. You'll have to finish the reading.
And may be expected to do so in the future.
We've heard that.
I further direct that the entire contents of my library be delivered to Mr. Bruce Lewin to dispose of as he sees fit. I make this bequest in the confidence that Mr. Lewin will appreciate these books.
My mother must have been out of her mind.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, let him have the books. Get on with it.
To my granddaughter, Julia Cabot, I leave my enduring thanks for her many kindnesses to an old woman. I leave her my Bible, and I further bequeath her a silver and turquoise brooch whereof she knows.
Oh.
To my grandson, Julian Strelson, I leave the balance of my estate, confident that he well deserves it.
Oh.
Miss Cabot.
Don't you take it. Don't accept it.
She marked a passage in here, and she left this note. She hadn't much strength. I had to help guide her hand when she wrote it.
We'll fight it. I've never known such ingratitude. Why, we've sacrificed 3 years of our lives, and this is our thanks. You can just bet we'll fight it. It was written right before she died. You can't tell me my mother was in her right mind.
Was she out of her mind when she restored your allowance?
Oh.
Dr. Matthews and the nurse will both testify as to her mental state. Mrs. Scarborough knew exactly what she was doing up until the last.
We'll get another lawyer. You'll see.
Mother, stop it! I've lost. I've lost everything. I'm no more good to you. Now, get out and leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Julia, you don't know what you're saying. We'll fight it. You'll see. He won't get away with it. You just wait.
I'm sorry, I really am. However, I felt you didn't deserve a slap like this.
She left me a Bible verse. She always said she wanted it buried with her. When thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Listen to your heart. It makes the wisest choice. I made my choice long ago and left the man I have loved all my life. It was a bad bargain, and I have watched the ruined wealth made of my family. I leave you, my favorite, your freedom. the greatest of all legacies.
Let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. She was a wonderful woman.
She was wonderful and very wise.
No regrets.
For what she gave me? No, Bruce. It's a legacy I'll be grateful for as long as I live.
For as long as we both shall live. That's in there, too.
Turn it back. Looks like he aims to come on up. Shot.
Looking for something, mister?
Well, I thought the whole town was deserted.
Well, almost is. I'd be out there at the funeral myself if it weren't for my leg.
I came here to see Sheriff Turner. He must be over at the funeral.
Yeah.
Next door is my eating place. You care for a bite?
Sounds good. Might as well eat something while waiting for the sheriff.
Afraid I ain't got enough food for that long a wait, Ranger. That's the sheriff they're burying. More coffee, Ranger?
No, thanks. When did the sheriff die?
Well, they found him yesterday morning. Been bushwhacked, then tied back on his horse. Horse come trotting back into town about an hour before noon.
Did you know he'd sent for a ranger?
Well, I heard him say that he's thinking about it ever since he found them tracks. I guess you know about the big bank holdup over in Parker County last week.
Yeah, we had a report. 3 men, one of them got shot up, but they all got away. Was the sheriff alone?
Well, he tried to raise a posse, but most of the able-bodied men in these parts are up looking for silver in Red Mountain. Only got 3 or 4 men left in town worth taking on a posse. They wouldn't go.
Maybe I'll have better luck.
You figured on trying to round up a posse?
Those able-bodied men you mentioned.
Well, I can tell you right now what their answer will be.
Think I'll try anyway, after I've had a look around.
You're going to be mighty disappointed, Ranger.
No harm in asking, Pete.
Howdy, boys.
Howdy, Tim.
Where's the ranger?
Search me. We went in when he came by. Left word with Molly for Sam and me to get into town pronto.
I wasn't home neither. I wonder what he wants. Probably got something to do with the sheriff getting killed.
You're right. It's exactly what it is. I'm Jim Harris, Texas Rangers.
I'm Tim Burton.
You must be the Hebert boys.
That's right. I'm Luke. This here's my brother Sam.
What's this all about, Ranger?
I'm forming a posse. Thought you boys might like to join up.
Posse?
We're going out after Fox Durkin and his gang.
Fox Durkin?
That bank chop that was pulled over in Parker County last week. I figure it was Fox Durkin and his boys. And that they dry gouched the sheriff when he went out after him. Alone.
Now, hold on a minute, Ranger. When you sent for us, you didn't say nothing about Fox Durkin. He's a mad dog killer, as local as they come.
I didn't figure I had to. This is your rangeland, isn't it? Your town. You want Fox Durkin running around killing and shooting?
Going after a man like him, you can't expect an even break.
Besides, we don't even know what he looks like. Nobody's ever got close enough to get a description of him. Nobody that's lived to tell about it, that is.
Who else is going along? Nobody else.
Well, we ain't the only men in town.
You're the only ones that haven't refused me. Well?
Now, look, Ranger, let's talk sensible. 4 of us ain't gonna be able to take 3 of them, not if they're holed up. We wouldn't have a chance. Tim's right.
What about you?
Sorry, Ranger.
All right, boys. Thanks anyway.
Well, if there were just a couple more men...
Sure.
You better forget about Durkin, Ranger. Nobody'll go with you. Looks like you've already asked everybody in town.
No. Not quite everyone. Mister. Over here.
Me?
Yeah. What's your name?
Brown. Jake Brown. You ain't got no reason to be interested in me, Ranger. Leastwise, not official.
Where you from?
Here and there. No place special.
Drifter?
Oh, I wouldn't say that exactly. Of course, I will admit I ain't had much luck holding down a steady job lately, so I've been doing a little prospecting. That's why I come into town. Look for a grub stake or try to work out a few supplies.
Ride well?
Sure.
Done much shooting?
Some. But to be honest with you, Ranger, this gun does throw a mite to the left. Oh, a little more than a mite to be exact. I'm going to fix the sight one of these days.
How's you shooting with the good gun?
First rate. Hands still steady. My eyes are better than they were 20 years ago. Of course, I wouldn't be able to ride very far or do much shooting. Not on an empty stomach.
How long since you had grub?
Yesterday. Pretty early in the morning, too.
Here. Go over to the cafe and fill up. Then come back here.
Well, that's mighty thoughtful of you, Ranger. Mighty thoughtful. Almost forgot. Just what is it we're going to do when I come back here?
We're going out looking for a fella called Fox Durkin.
Durkin, huh? Well, it's been 10 or 12 years since I've been on a posse, but I guess I can keep up.
This isn't exactly a posse. Just you and me, the two of us.
Oh?
That is if you're not afraid.
No. Nope, I'm not afraid.
I'll get you a fresh horse while you're eating, and a gun that'll shoot straight.
Pick me out a good horse, Ranger. But if you don't mind, I'd just keep this old pistol. I'm so used to his acting peculiar, I'm afraid I'd have trouble with a straight-shooting gun.
You're making a big mistake, Ranger.
Think so, Burton?
You think by enlisting the help of that old geezer, you're going to shame us into going along. Well, it ain't going to work.
Didn't expect it to. Sorry you boys can't see it my way.
Well, your way is pretty blind. That old man is too feeble to... Oh, what do I care? I'm getting out of here.
What about you boys? Still feel the same way?
Anything else, Pop?
Yeah. Give me another piece of that apple pie.
You sure you got the dough for all that?
I got me $1. I ain't that but 30 cents worth of grub.
35 cents with the extra pie.
Highway robbery, if you ask me. But I guess I got no cause to complain, seeing as how I got the money from the ranger himself.
The ranger?
Mm-hmm. Wants me to help him capture Fox Durkin. I'm going to be a deputy.
You?
Might surprise you.
Doggone it, if it weren't for this leg of mine, I'd be out there riding with you. About time somebody did something. First thing you know, Durkin and his boys will be right here in Agate. Only the able-bodied men left in this town are too cowardly to see it.
Is that right?
Sure, if it weren't for the ranger, Durkin and his men could walk right in and take over, without anyone making so much as a peep.
Then I guess it's up to me to take good care of the ranger. Under the circumstances, it'd be a doggone shame if he was to get himself killed.
All set?
Ready and waiting, Ranger.
So long, Pete.
Good luck.
So long, boys. Sorry I'm joining the party. Nice looking carbine you have there. Didn't notice it before.
A prospector works the hills. He's got to stay well armed. Have to be claim jumpers at least. You know, the like of that.
We're liable to run into some real trouble. You sure you want to go?
Positive. I got a lot of confidence in you, Ranger. You ride on in front and I'll just tag along behind. That way I'll feel plenty safe. Don't worry.
We should be reaching the base of Rock Canyon pretty soon. We start looking for tracks.
Lead on, Ranger. I'm with you all the way.
Hold it. Hear that? Someone's coming. Well, the Hebert brothers. Boys come out to say goodbye. Thought we did that in town.
Rangers, Sam and me got to thinking, maybe you're right about this concerning us in our town. Well, we don't like the idea of that saddle tramp doing a job maybe we ought to be doing.
I'm glad you fellas changed your mind.
So, you can go home, old man.
He stays with us, Luke.
What?
We need all the help we can get.
He'll just get in the way. Send him back.
He goes with us. Well?
Let's go.
the way they entered, all right.
You figure on sticking right to this trail?
For a while, anyway. Any objections from anyone?
I think I know what's worrying our brave friend here, Ranger. It appears this trail gets deeper as it leads up into the mountains. A lot of nice spots for an ambush.
It may be, but it's the quickest way into the mountains. Take us a lot longer if we don't use this trail.
Yeah. And we might not come back.
What do you say, Sam?
Well, we're taking a chance even coming with you, Ranger. Might as well take a bigger chance. You lead, I'll follow.
Jake?
I'm with you, boy.
Luke?
I still think you're making a big mistake by sticking to this trail. But I'll go along with the rest.
Good. Well, we better get going.
This country's plenty rough on horses, Ranger.
We can walk him for a while. Sam, you've been in this country before, haven't you?
Sure, it's been a few years, though.
What's up ahead?
Well, the trail goes on for quite a spell, and then at the top there's two big ridges. Beyond that, there's a level space, and then the trail starts down over the other side.
Sounds like a good place for those three to hole up, right at the top. Use those ridges as a lookout.
Yeah, those ridges command the whole trail. There's a lot of big jagged rocks up there, too. It's going to be hard to get them if that's where they are.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Come on.
Take it easy, Tommy. This here's our last canteen. It tasted good. Real good. You can have some more later. What about food? Martin, I need food. Bad. It won't be long. Durkin went into town for some. He ought to be back soon.
Those are ridges you talked about, Sam?
Yeah, that's the top, all right.
From here on, we keep a sharp lookout.
I knew he'd cause trouble.
There was a rattler alongside the trail.
Anyone within 3 miles would have heard that shot.
Well, I guess I just shot out of instinct. That's all.
Well, we can't waste time talking about it. Let's get to the top as quick as we can.
You okay, Tommy? Well, let's give it to him.
You were anxious to shoot rattlesnakes. Why don't you take them on?
Ranger. We can't shake him loose from that ridge from this angle.
You wouldn't have to if you hadn't warned him with that shot.
I know. Look, suppose you give me a chance to make up for that.
Oh.
They're on that left ridge. If I can climb those rocks around to the right, I can stay out of the line of fire. And once on top, I can smoke them out.
It'd be suicide. You could never make it from here to the ridge.
I can try. Just keep me covered, that's all.
It's a crazy idea.
It's my life, ain't it? I can risk it if I want it, can't I?
Yeah, I guess you can. Go ahead, we'll keep you covered.
I'll see you.
Keep the old man covered!
Hold it, Tommy.
All right, you can hold your fire now.
Gonna make it. I hope they don't get him when he reaches the top.
I'll never know how I managed this.
Howdy, boys. Man, how did you manage to get... Come on up!
He got him.
Yeah.
Come on up!
I take back everything I said about that old timer.
He sure made it easy on us.
He sure did. Let's go on up.
Well, that's it, Ranger.
You and Sam lead the horses off the ridge down to the trail. Jack and I'll look around, see if we can find the gold they took from Parker County.
Right.
Let's look around.
Sure thing.
Must have hidden around here somewhere.
Yeah, I bet that's just what they done. Of course, with those two dead, we might never know where.
One member of the gang knows where it is. The third member, Fox Durkin himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was three of them, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe Durkin pushed on alone days ago. Took the gold with him.
Maybe. I got a better idea.
What's that?
One of them wounded the head in the hole up here. Looks like they're out of supplies. Maybe Durkin had to go to town to get some.
Strikes me that'd be sort of silly, wouldn't it?
Why? Nobody had an accurate description of the outlaws. Lots of cowboys and miners wander in looking for supplies. Wouldn't be as risky as it first seems.
Could be. Hard to guess what really did happen, though.
Not so hard. Let's say he did go to town. Just wandered in like you did.
Okay, let's say he did.
Let's say he finds a ranger trying to raise a posse. If he's real smart, he'd do just what you did. He'd join that posse if he could.
You got it all figured out, huh?
Pretty much. You fired that warning shot. Then when we dismounted, you fired two more. And yet you rushed those two men with a half-empty gun. A man wouldn't do that unless he was sure he was safe. And they wouldn't fire at their leader, would they?
I don't like what you're saying, Ranger.
I don't imagine you do. You played a long shot, Durkin. You knew he could rush them without being hurt. Then when you killed him, you figured that we'd welcome you back as a hero. Let you go free. Free to come back here and pick up all this gold for yourself.
You forced this play, Ranger.
Put it away, Durkin. It won't do you any good.
No. It'll force you to lead me out past those other two. Now get moving. I said move.
You fired that gun 5 times, and you haven't reloaded.
That still leaves one. All I'll need for you if you don't start moving.
Your bluff won't work, Durkin. You're a gunman. A smart gunman. And the smart gunman files his trigger down hair-thin for quicker action. You know what I'm getting at. With a hair trigger, a smart gunman doesn't carry 6 shells in his gun. He lets the firing pin rest on an empty chamber so it won't go off while he's riding. I'm betting that's what you do. You've used 5 shells. That's all you had in the gun to begin with.
You're making a mistake, Ranger.
Give me that gun, Durkin. Walk back this way. Where'd you hide the gold? Never mind, it can't be far. We'll find it.
Hey, Ranger, what's going on? Old Jake seeing rattlesnakes again?
Hey, it's all right, Luke. I fired the shot. But I wasn't shooting at a rattlesnake. It was an old fox.